All right, hey, what's up, guys? Coach Mac, Play Fast Football. All right, today I'm going to do a video, an opinionated video. This is my opinion only, and I'm going to go through some of the stats in college and the NFL on offense, and we're going to look at a couple things. I'm going to talk about why I think certain things are the way they are. Then I'm going to kind of talk about, does it really equate to certain results or things in the long run. I'm going to have fun with it. It's going to be a good time. It's not meant to be be-all, end-all of anything. There are too many things involved in football than just one statistical category on offense or defense, or there's a lot of things that go on that lead to winning and losing and being on the biggest stage. So just going to take a look at some things, have some fun, and analyze some data. All right, make sure you guys check out our sponsors in the description box below. I will have a link to GameStrats. The link to GameStrat that takes you directly to the GameStrat website. It's a sideline replay system that we use. If you're looking for a highly reliable, highly affordable sideline replay system with great customer-friendly service, make sure you check out GameStrat. Click on the link in the description box, take you right to their site. DifferenceUSA, the ultimate striking machine. We have one in our weight room. All right, you get thousands of reps working on striking in the off-season. You don't need a partner, don't need a med ball, don't need a bag, don't need anything to hold up. You just put the ultimate striking machine attached to one of your squat racks inside of your weight room, and you can get all the reps you want in the off-season, working on hand placement, elbows in, thumbs up, eyes where they go, coming out of stances, all the things you need to do to become better at the fundamental and the technique of striking, okay? And JustPlayFB is the digital software I use, playbook software I use to draw any plays anytime I'm going to talk, anytime I'm going to talk at a clinic, or I'm going to do a webinar where I need drawings and diagrams, I'm going to use JustPlayFB. I am not much of a playbook guy myself, so I don't have my own individual playbook, but if I'm ever going to draw anything or use playbook software, it's going to be JustPlayFB, so make sure you check out, all right, Just Play. So what I was doing in the last 2 days, just kind of going through some things and looking at some offensive statistics in college and the NFL, and trying to see if I can kind of make some things equate, trying to figure it all out in my head, see if we can get some things to kind of piece together where they fit. So, in NCAA Division I, when you look at the top 5 rushing offenses, all right, you're going to have Navy, Air Force, Army, Kentucky, Ohio State. All right, so no shocker that the top 3 service academies that are all traditionally some type of flexbone teams or option teams or heavy run teams that I would say probably run the ball 80 to 85% of the time, and they throw the ball 10 to 15% of the time. All right, subsequently, in parentheses, Navy's 128th in passing, Air Force 125th in passing, Army's 129th in passing, Kentucky's 127th in passing. The outlier there is Ohio State, who happens to be 36th in passing. Why is that? They focus, all right, Kentucky fell into a situation this year where I think they had some quarterback issues and had to play some athletes, so they started doing more wildcat, quote-unquote, type deals. So these teams fall into issues where they were forced, they want to run the ball. That's the nature of their makeup, whether it be recruiting reasons with these 3 teams or trying to be different schematically. Whatever the reason may be, they want to run the ball. They don't want to throw the ball. So they put all their emphasis on running the ball, and the result in turn ends up being, all right, top 3 or 4 rushing teams in the country, because they put all their stock into running the football. And again, in my opinion, what that means is if you want to try and get good at something, then make sure you get good at that. And if you want to get good at it, you got to do it a bunch, and you got to do it over and over again, and you got to practice it a bunch. So these teams that are focusing on, like the service academies, all right, that may be at a recruiting disadvantage when it comes to getting the top tier athletes in space, and maybe they got to play, all right, with the cards kind of that get dealt their way. Even though they are recruiting, there's a certain parameter that they have to meet in the recruiting effort, so they can't go out and recruit some of the same kids that, maybe the Blue Bloods are recruiting, or the top tier programs in NCAA Division I are recruiting. So they base their offense around the kids that they're getting, and a system around the kids that they're getting, and obviously it works. So you can't tell me that what they're focusing on for them isn't working. All right, so they're focusing on running the ball. They're focusing on being a little bit different with option football and some flexbone principles and unbalanced sets, and still running, maybe versions of belly plays or down plays, or, if you want to call it old-fashioned, whatever you want to say, they get the result they're trying to get out of what they're trying to do. They want to be a time of possession team. They want to be a heavy run team. All right, they want to run the football, and look at the results. So they're getting results from what they're trying to do. On the flip side, you look at the top 5 passing offenses, Washington State is number 1. What does that tell me right away? For everybody that knocks either the air raid or the air raid as a system, when it comes to throwing the ball, they put their emphasis on throwing the ball. They throw it more than they run it. All right, they're the #1 passing offense in the country. They happen to be the 129th rushing offense in the country. So really not that much different when you look over here. The #1 rushing offense is 128 in passing. The #1 passing offense is 129 in rushing. That's because those two systems of what they're trying to do, they try to get good at what they're trying to get good at, and they both obviously done that and have succeeded at what they're trying to do. So when you look at those two systems, for anybody to knock the systems and say that you can't use those, I think to me is not being logical within what you're looking at. They want to run the ball, look at the result. They want to throw the ball, look at the result. And then on the flip side, look at the result of them throwing and look at the result on them running. They're getting exactly out of their offense what they want to get out of their offense. Now, whether that translates into how many games you win, I think that has to do with talent on the other side of the ball, special teams. I think there's so many other factors that equate into winning. Obviously, Air Force, all right, at #2 in the country in 125 passing, won the game when they played the #1 passing offense. That was 129 in rushing. So everybody wants to look at that game and say which system is better or not. What I want to do is I want to look at the stats and say, look, this is what you focus on, you're getting a result. This is what you focus on, you're getting a result. So whether or not we can do either of those in high school, obviously there's going to be people that tell you that it's easier to run the ball and you can find option quarterbacks and you can block runs easier than you can pass protect and find quarterbacks that can throw and all. That's not my argument. What my argument is when you're looking at systems at levels where the kids can function the way you want them to based on recruiting, this system, they're getting out of it what they want to get out of it. Washington State gets out of it what they want to get out of it. Now, LSU was second in passing. Everybody knows that because it's been a revelation all of a sudden now. I look at that and say, well, LSU's now second in passing, but they're 60th in rushing, but they happen to be in a national title game. When these numbers were flipped and they were top in rushing and near the bottom in passing, they weren't in a national championship game. I'm not trying to say that throwing puts you in a national championship game. I'm just trying to say that they put an emphasis on the passing game with the talent to get it done, brought in a coach with an NFL passing game, and now look what they are. All right, Alabama happens to be third in passing, 56th in rushing, which is maybe a little bit of a change for them, but going into the year with Tua and the receivers that they had makes total sense. Graduating Damian Harris and Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is one of the top rushers in the NFL, a 1,000-yard rusher in the NFL this year. Makes sense for them to do what they did. That's why those numbers are flipped a little bit. San Jose State, all right, and then you get San Jose State and Hawaii. Those are two teams that are putting heavy emphasis on throwing the ball. All right, Hawaii's run and shoot. I don't know offhand. All right, forgive me, I don't know offhand what San Jose State runs, but they're obviously two teams that are putting emphasis on throwing the ball because their rushing numbers are so poor. All right, what you see is with the outliers of LSU and Alabama, who potentially as blue bloods may have the types of kids to run any offense they want, and I know that's going to be the argument. People said if you put them in a flex bone, they're going to dominate. Yeah, probably. If you put them in the air raid, they're going to dominate. Yeah, probably. All right, but when you take those two outliers out, okay, Washington State, San Jose State, Hawaii, teams that put an emphasis on throwing the ball, they get results on throwing the ball. They don't get results running the ball. Now, whether or not that equates to wins, all right, Washington State, I know, was in a bowl game, but they lost. All right, I know Hawaii was in a bowl game. Okay, I think all of these teams, all right, were potentially in bowl games, except for maybe Kentucky. I don't know if Kentucky was in a bowl game or not. I think they were, but I'm not sure. All right, but my point is these teams are getting out of their offenses what they're trying to get out, because the bottom line on offense is if you're going to get good at something, get good at what you're trying to get good at, practice it, rep it, know that that's what you're trying to get good at, and then see if the results follow. All right, so again, not saying of what we should or shouldn't do in high school. That's not my argument. Not saying what system is better. That's not my argument. All right, I'm just kind of throwing some numbers out there to take a look at the top offenses and where their focus is, and are they getting out are they getting results out of what they are focusing on? And my answer is yes. Navy, Air Force, Army, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think they're getting results. All right, Washington State, San Jose, Hawaii, 1, 4, 5. Yeah, I think they're getting results. All right, so if these teams were focusing on running the ball in the flex bone, unbalanced sets, time of possession, whatever else you want to look at, and they're not top 50, let alone top 5, then maybe you're not getting results. If Washington State wants to throw it that many times and they're not top 50, let alone top, then maybe you're not getting results. But right now I say the systems and the results fit for what they're trying to do. Now when you look at the top overall offenses, okay, with the exception of maybe UCF, and I would even include UCF in there, these are all blue bloods. Okay, so why are these teams going to be tops in total offense? Probably because they got some of the best players in the country. All right, but what I'm going to look at is the numbers to the right of it. So LSU was total offense number 1. They're 60th in rushing, 2nd in passing. Okay, UCF is 2nd in total offense. They're 19th in rushing. They're 8th in passing. Clemson All right, 3rd in offense, 11th in rushing, 19th in passing. Oklahoma, 14th in rushing, 18th in passing. Ohio State, 5th in rushing, 36th in passing. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because these are all schools that happen to use, all right, offensive philosophies that they're going to try and get good at both things. Maybe put an emphasis on one 60%, 40%, or whatever they may do, but they're going to try and run an offense inside of a philosophy and a system for them that allows them to do both things. These schools are not. These guys are going to run a system and a philosophy, all right, and an approach to offense that makes them run the ball and not focusing on throwing. They're going to put a focus on throwing the ball, not running it. That's why the results are where they are. Well, when you look at the top offenses, and again, I know what people are going to say. These are all blue bloods. They got 5 stars. They can run whatever they run. Yeah, that's not my argument. What I'm saying, when you look at the statistics, what I'm trying to say is the teams that are in the top 5 in offense happen to be teams that are pretty good at doing both. Now, are they pretty good at doing both because of the talent? Yeah. All right? But if you put these teams in a system that was 85% run-based, like the academies are they going to be top 5 in total offense? Are they going to be where they are in the passing game? I say not, just because of passes attempted, all right? Rushes attempted. Okay, so I say some of these teams you'd see move up here, but maybe out of the total offensive standpoint because their focus would change. All right? So not only are they blue bloods, and not only do they have some of the best players in the country and could probably run what they want, that's not the argument. The argument is because they run what they do, it gives them a chance to be balanced, or more so balanced, all right, in rushing and passing, so that they can be tops in total offense. All right? Any one of these 5 teams, if I put in the systems that the academies run, in flex bone, unbalanced, heavy offensive systems, I would think that they would probably be in the top. The only argument would be LSU. All right, when LSU was a run-heavy team, I don't know if they were in the top 5 in offense. All right, so I'm not saying it's because of their passing game this year. Maybe you could make that argument, maybe you couldn't. I don't know. I'm not here to make that argument. I'm here to say that these teams are top 5 because they're balanced and they put a focus on running and throwing the ball 60-40, 55-45, whatever it may be. They're there because of the focus they put. They're there because of the focus they put. All right, so you've got to get out of your offense what you're trying to get out of it. All right, and if you want to be good at everything, then you've got to risk not being top 5 or 10 maybe in something, and being middle of the pack, all right, 11 to 30 or whatever, 60 here in rushing, whatever it may be, 36th in passing, all right, in a system that allows you to do both, to try and get good at both. Okay, my argument is not to say run what these schools run because they're top 5 in offense. No. These schools could probably run whatever they want and still be top somewhere here. Don't know if they would be tops in total offense. All right, so what I'm saying is focus, focus, focus. Heavy run, heavy pass, trying to do both. The results match up. Now, when you look at some NFL stats, here's the top 5 NFL offenses. Cowboys, Ravens, Buccaneers, 49ers, Falcons. 3 of those 5 teams didn't even make the playoffs. Okay? So does total offense mean anything towards making the playoffs? Obviously, based off of that, you could argue no. But those are the top 5 offenses in the NFL. Obviously, we're not going to talk systems and whatnot because the NFL is a little bit more even-based with their systems, and you're not going to see, all right, true all-out air raid or all-out run and shoot or all-out flex bone. You're going to see a more pro-style mixed philosophy, all right, and it's going to be a little bit different as far as the systems are concerned. Top 5 rushing teams: Ravens, Niners, Titans, Seahawks, Cowboys. Well, there's something that sticks out to me right away with those. 4 of those teams are still playing this week in the playoffs. Cowboys didn't even make the playoffs. So one of the top 5 rushing teams didn't even make the playoffs. 4 of them are still playing. So you can look at the 4 that are still playing, and you can say, well, got to be able to run the ball if you want to still play in the playoffs. Okay, you can make that argument. The 5th team didn't even make the playoffs. And the other 4 teams, or however many that are still in the playoffs, they're not up there in the top 5. So, again, 5 may be a small number. I get it. All right, I didn't want to list the top 32 offenses or the top 20, so I limited it down to 5. And we're just trying to nitpick at some of the stats to kind of give you a feeling of where some of the old myths apply, where they don't apply, and winning and losing comes down to more than just 1 or 2 things. All right, top 5 passing offenses in the NFL: Buccaneers, Cowboys, Falcons, Rams, Chiefs. First 4 teams did not make the playoffs. The Chiefs are the only one left still playing. The NFL used to be what everybody thought was a pass-friendly league, pass-happy league, quarterback-driven league. 4 of the top 5 passing teams didn't even make the playoffs. So can it really be a quarterback-driven league, pass-friendly league, when 4 of the top 5 passing teams don't make the playoffs? So again, when you're looking at stats and you're looking at the myths and all the different things that people are trying to debunk all the time or prove correct all the time, I don't know if that's one avenue that you can go down to say that you got to do this or this to win, you got to do this or this to make the playoffs, you got to do this or this to play in January. I don't know if you can say that. All right? I mean, obviously we can make deductions from the fact to say that old school philosophy, you want to win playoffs, you want to win the championships, got to run the ball and play good defense. I don't have the defensive numbers right now, but 4 of the teams that are top 5 in rushing are still playing football. Okay. NFL's a pass-happy, pass-friendly league. Okay, 4 of the teams that led the league in passing didn't make the playoffs. So can you deduce something from that the rushing teams fared better than the passing teams? Yeah, maybe you can. But I think it also has to do with defense, talent, special teams, injuries. There's a lot of other things that go into winning and losing than just stats. But if I'm looking at these things in the NFL by stats, all right, this year at least, what I'm looking at is I'm saying, okay, Cowboys, Buccaneers, Falcons didn't make the playoffs. They're 3 of the top 5 offenses, so maybe trying to have the top offense in the NFL isn't a straight deduction of making the playoffs or winning championships. All right? You know, offense wins games, defense wins championships. I don't know, 3 of the 5 offensive teams aren't even in the playoffs, so you didn't win enough games. Okay? So I don't know if that's correct. I don't know. You know, defensively, again, I don't have the numbers. I would say most of the teams still playing in the NFL probably play good defense, but I think that's always maybe going to hold true. All right, 4 of the 5 teams in rushing are still playing football. 4 of the 5 teams in passing are playing football. Didn't even make the playoffs. Okay, so what are you going to do with those numbers? You're not going to do anything with them. We're going to have fun. We're going to analyze. We're going to look. All right, and we're going to nitpick at things we want to nitpick on. If I wanted to nitpick on a system to run the ball, I could say that obviously the academies and the flex bone or the unbalanced or, you know, whatever you want to look at, ground and pound, however you want to look at it, yeah, they run the ball. Okay? Yeah, then we could argue that. If I want to talk about throwing the football, you'd be dumb to say that the air raid isn't the offense to be in college football if you want to throw the football. All right, look at the results. Okay, so you can look at those however you want, and you can put them up on social media and make arguments however you want. My opinion is offense is meant to be played the way you want to play it. It's a philosophy. It's an approach. I don't know if any of that equates to us in high school football because the talent is so different with what we can and can't do. A lot of times we have to pick and choose an offense based on what our kids can do and what we think we can get our kids to do. All right? So if any of these, I don't really know if they transfer. My goal today doing the video wasn't to say what we should look at in college to run in high school because it's a completely different game. Okay? I've always made the argument to wonder why. I know why it's a recruiting deal. I know why certain teams, except for Georgia Tech, was doing it, and everybody that was a flex bone team or everybody that was an option-based team was all about Paul Johnson and Georgia Tech because he was doing it in a Power 5 conference. I get it. All right, I understand it. If you're part of that, if you're part of that genre and you want to defend your system and he's doing it in the ACC and the Power 5, and then Georgia Tech struggles this year with the coaching change, now you want to look at that and say it's because they should still be running the option. You can make that argument. That's fine. All right. I'm here to say that I really don't care what system you're on. I don't care what you do. Offense is about results. It's about moving the ball. It's about scoring points. And it's about matching your philosophy to the things that you want to do. All right? You have to match your philosophy to what you want to do. And when you come up with an offensive identity, all right, if the philosophy matches the results, then I think you're okay. Philosophy matches results. Philosophy matches results. All right? I think you're okay. And for these teams that are looking to be balanced because they want to get the ball into space because they have the dudes to do it, and they want to recruit that way. So for these schools to go out and get the best players in the country on offense, they've got to be able to say, hey, if you're a tailback, all right, we're top 50 or 60 in rushing. LSU is predominantly a school that's got great tailbacks, and the tailbacks go to the NFL. Hey, we're 2 in passing, 8 in passing, 19 in passing, 18th in passing, 36th. Got to be able to recruit quarterbacks, got to be able to recruit wide receivers. So from a recruiting standpoint, these schools are going to be able to tell their kids that if you play quarterback, you can come here. If you play running back, you can come here. If you play receiver, you can come here. We can get you all the ball. These schools have a little bit different knack in recruiting. They got to go after a certain demographic. That's why they play football the way they do. All right? These schools, maybe at Washington State and San Jose and Hawaii, they're not going to get the same caliber players as the blue chippers, so their recruiting is different. So they're trying to fit a system to make it different, and then they're trying to recruit to the system. So it's, long-winded version. They're all trying to do what they need to do to survive in the manner at which that they choose to survive. Whether you want to argue who wins more or not, I think Mike Leach has had a ton of success as a head coach. I think he's done a lot of great things. I think the service academies, all right, with what they're doing, they're getting a lot of great results. I'm not here to argue those. I would never argue any of those. To me, I think if you're a football coach and you love offensive football, I think it'd be dumb, all right, in my opinion, to say that anything is a bad idea. If it helps you get a first down, then hell, I'm all for it. If it's a good football play, I'm all for it. You know, when I talk to people about how we played offense the last couple of years, buck sweep was one of our best running plays. Well, that's a wing T philosophy, isn't it? RPOs and read game was a big part of what we did on offense. Well, that's an option philosophy, isn't it? All right, so zone read or veer read or triple with key screens or pitch phases. All right, we're a big read team. We're a big RPO team. So buck sweep, RPOs, option, and then we're 10 personnel, 20 personnel, and when we throw the ball, you know, we're using some air raid principles. We're throwing mesh concepts, and we're throwing old curl flat concepts, and I don't know if you can pin them all to air raid, but the bottom line is, for me as an offensive guy, I take things that fit to me from any system. I don't care where the system came from. All right, I'm not too big or high on a horse to say that I'm not running buck sweep because it's a wing T play. To hell with it. I love buck sweep. It's a good play. I'm putting it in my offense. All right, if mesh is a good passing play, I'm putting it in my offense. If option football is good for me, it's going in my offense. If RPOs are double options, in theory, if I'm reading one guy and based on what he does, I'm giving the ball or throwing it to someone else, that is an option, in my opinion. Whether you want to argue it's option football or not, that's up to you. So I want to take the best of every world and put it into a manner in which my kids, I think, can play. And when we're, if we need to be heavy run, we'll be heavy run. If we need to be heavy pass, we'll be heavy pass. But I want to give my offense a chance to do the best of everything at our ability. That's what I think offense is. I'll pick a play, I'll pick things that work into our scheme and our philosophy, and I don't care what system it came from. All right, I'm not a firm believer in one system over another. I'm not a firm believer that says you have to play football one way. I think you can do it however you want. I think you can win however you want. I think you can lose probably however you want. I think you can score points however you want. It's up to how you want to coach and play football. Bottom line for me, as a person that does YouTube videos and a person that's going to host a coaching clinic, I don't think you'd want to pigeonhole yourself into anything. Knowledge is knowledge. Learn the game. Learn more about the game. You don't have to use it. All right, so I want to learn about wing T principles. I want to learn about option principles. If I can fit them into my offense, I will. I want to learn about throwing the ball. If I can fit it into my offense, I will. Okay, so at the end of the day, I think you go out and you study everything and you respect all the systems and you respect how well certain schools run the ball and you respect how well certain schools throw the ball, and then you pick and choose from there. Are there any ideas from those systems that I can put into my offense to come up with my own identity and my own philosophy? Okay, so I'm against arguing about systems. I'm against quote-unquote systems in general. I know why they're there. I know why people use them. I think that you can blend things together and come up with a philosophy of how you want to play, whether it's up-tempo, time of possession, run heavy, pass heavy, balance 50-50. I think you can pick and choose elements of a lot of different offenses to put together into an identity to say, hey, we're a gap scheme football team that carries option principles, and we have some air raid principles in our passing game. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, just my opinion. All right, remember, as always, guys, I need you to subscribe. If you do subscribe, click the bell for the notifications so you know every time we do a video. Like the videos, thumbs up, thumbs down. Interact with the videos. It lets us know what videos to do next. Comment in the sections. We'll always respond to comments, so the interaction is good. Check out the community tab. All right, we have membership stuff up now. We've got merchandise being sold, so make sure you check certain messages on the community tab. All right, check out some of our sponsors. All right, we mentioned some at the beginning. Also, Defensive Coordinator 1 in-game app that lets you make critical in-game adjustments based on live in-game data. DomeHats, which is the hat sponsorship for PlayFast football and that I use at my high school. All right, DomeHats has a great custom online hat builder, hat generator. Make sure you check them out. They can do anything you want, all different styles, hats, beanies, visors, you name it, they can do it. So make sure you check out DomeHats. As always, I appreciate everything you've always done for me. Continue to try and get better and build the channel from here. Make sure we're moving in the right direction. Remember, you won't play well until you play fast. See you guys next time.